Hi and welcome to my Lisbon series, which will follow my first solo trip abroad, where I spent a week in Lisbon. On day 1, join me as I make a day trip from Lisbon to the nearby beautiful city of Sintra, a perfect option for an accessible day trip. Hi everyone, welcome to Lisbon. So it's my first day here. I arrived quite late yesterday. I was originally meant to get in at 8:30, but when we got on the plane yesterday at Stansted, they delayed takeoff for an hour and a half, so I got here at about 10:30. Then I took the metro to our hotel, so that took about half an hour. So didn't really have too much time to do anything yesterday, but I'm hoping today to go to Sintra on my first day. Oh, and if you're taking a train, don't forget to validate your ticket before boarding. So the train to Sintra is quite an easy one. It's a direct train, and the last stop on the line is Sintra. So at least you don't have to worry about falling asleep and missing your stop. Hello, welcome to beautiful Sintra. I just got the train here. It was quite cheap. It was €5 for a return. It took about 30 minutes, and you can see all the way up there is the famous fortress of Sintra, which I'm not entirely sure whether I'm going to make it all the way up there by foot, but I'm currently heading to the historical city centre, which is meant to be about a 10-minute walk from the train station. One of the first sights that greets you when you arrive in Sintra centre is the magnificent Palace of Sintra, with its iconic conical chimneys. The palace is one of the oldest in Portugal. The palace has been inhabited continuously from the 15th to the 19th century. The interior of the palace was beautifully decorated, particularly the ceilings, with significant influences from Portugal's maritime, Moorish and Gothic history. So the next stop after the National Palace of Sintra was the Pena Palace and Park. Okay, so we just visited the National Palace of Sintra, which was really beautiful, worth it. It was €10. Oh, that's the bus I want. 434. How do I get it? Yeah, I kind of want that bus because that's going to the Pena Palace, which is meant to be quite awesome. It's a 61-minute walk in the way I'm heading, so I'm going to try and find where the bus stops. There are really multiple ways to get to the Pena Palace. One is the bus, which you can take the 434, the 516, and that takes about 30 minutes. You can also walk, but as you can see from this map, and I love maps, it's a considerable distance. It took me about an hour and a half, or you can take a taxi or a tuk-tuk. So for now anyway, I've opted to go for the hiking route. Maybe a mistake because it's 61 minutes of walking versus a 30-minute bus. It's a lot to walk, but it's beautiful. Actually really reminds me of the national park in Madeira that we went to. It's all very luscious. Sounds of waterfalls everywhere. Yeah, it's really beautiful, and you get such nice views of the city. Been walking for about an hour now, and I am most definitely not regretting walking. No, to be honest, it is really nice. There's a lot of cars and tuk-tuks and stuff to watch out for, as you can see. Yeah, I mean, it's otherwise a bit peaceful. I think there's still 30 minutes more, so I got my ticket to Pena Palace. After that 60-minute or so hike up, you get to the ticket office. It's €14 for the Palace and Gardens, €50 for just the garden. Then it's another 30-minute walk up after that. So the good news is I made it to the Penna Palace after getting my tickets. The bad news is I misunderstood the person at the ticket office. I thought she was saying that the last entry into the palace was at 5:30, but actually what she had been saying, or at least what she meant, which I had misinterpreted, is that my tickets are for 5:30. So I pelted it up the 30-minute walk to the palace, went to the door, and there was a queue. There was another queue, and I asked the guy, and he was like, "Oh, you have to come back because it's only 3:30." So that's a bit misunfortunate, but I just went to visit the famous cross, the High Cross, which is quite nice. It gives nice views. The Penna Palace and Gardens is definitely a place to not miss if you're on a visit to Sintra, or even Lisbon for that matter. The palace is truly a remarkable sight, painted in its bright yellow and red colour schemes, and is equally magnificently decorated inside, while the gardens surrounding it are lush and magical. Penna Palace was built between 1842 and 1852 with the idea for its use to be a summer palace. The palace is classed as a World Heritage Site, and after the revolution in 1910 was made into a national monument of Portugal. What a fantastic way to conclude my first day in Portugal.